So we are freeing the unconscious from slavery and societal standards and the mentality of religious organizations. The Luciferian practitioner understands that to entrap the mind and blindly walk in faith or view or religion is a cage of slavery, in a sense. The mind is programmed into thinking in one can only believe this when in fact you are choosing to see one way, regardless of science, facts, or any other view or history that someone could provide to you. For example, a Christian that is confronted with a new idea or philosophy or theory or ideology of something else um, may say to you, oh, well, the devil is deceiving you right now and you're being lied to. However, in my opinion, who is really being deceived here? The one with knowledge of multiple views, paths, facts, and history? Or the one walking blindly in faith that can really not identify fact, that has a bit, well, a hell of a lot of contradictions in their book. It just leaves so many more questions than it does answers, and you expect people to enslave themselves in this mentality to walk blindly on this path just so you don't go to hell. The left-hand path, or paganism, or witchcraft in itself, is one of many truths and knowledge and realities for the practitioner that brightly listens to their intuition and the magical practice and forces that they uncover through their path, knowing it to be true to themselves and using empowerment with that from discovering it yourself instead of being told what to believe or what to follow. We crave that certainty as humans, but we who walk these other paths know that nothing is certain, however, nothing's an accident either. So these beliefs or thoughts are programmed into you from a child. You know, you are told that you were born disgusting, you were born a sinner or unclean. Basically, you are shit unless you do this, and this is the only true way that will save your soul for eternity. Oh boy. Anyone with this mindset in their own way is only, like, the only true way is deceiving themselves, the people with this mindset, sorry. And authority figures in society push out societal standards or the popular opinions versus those who see the unpopular opinions and their truth in that. We on the left-hand path are shunned and shamed usually by ones with this mentality, and anybody can have this mentality that their way is the only way. And because of this, they choose to be less educated and comfortable and certain in their way of thinking. My personal views on life is if we are sitting comfortable and stagnant in our life or our religious organization, then we're not really changing, evolving, growing, or becoming wise or using or in pursuit of the wisdom that we need, the wisdom that we seek. Open-mindedness and change pulls the seeker to break this mentality and search for their own truth, which leads to something better than certainty with society or validation from an organization or society or person. The liberated are certain in the self. Allow reason and other views into your mind. Unlock those doors, explore what you're capable of. Because if you do not question things, you're a bit biased in that caged reality. So, how can we practice liberation? How can we achieve liberation from these programmings? First, you have to realize that you have been programmed to believe this way, you've been conditioned to believe this way, and identify those restraints. And my first advice would be that you have to do this for the self. You cannot worry about others. We're not converting, we are focusing on the self. Self enlightenment, our self ascension, our self growth. Others who see and are open may follow, so it's leading by example as well. Identify what in society has restricted you. Are your parents and family religious? Does that create fear or shame or guilt in your own psyche? Have people around you shamed you for believing different than them? These are all aspects we need to be aware of. It'll also kind of bring forth why you kind of have social anxieties. Why do we fear being in society? Could that be all the judgment, all the shame and emotions that come with that? So truly try to identify these restraints, these things that trigger or fear you in that aspect anyway. And then be asserted and self-assured of who you want to be and who you want to become. Then apply the ideology you choose of the path you walk. If it is the left-hand path, please embrace it and discover your own true self. I like how Luciferians refuse to adhere to anybody, or the left-hand path refuses to adhere to religion or society standards or any way but what they value and believe in themselves. And to me, that is one of the best aspects of being or practicing on the left-hand path. The standards of others who shame us, we are not above that type of thinking for many positive reasons. As a left-hand or a Luciferian, and in Michael Ford's words that I agree with, so quoting Mr. Ford, Luciferians see a lot of societal problems but do not adhere to the cages. We need people taking responsibility in all aspects and levels of life. You are responsible for yourself, guys. We are responsible for our own actions just as everybody else is responsible for theirs. And then Michael Ford goes on to say, we believe in kindness and love to those who show us the same. But if wronged, we believe in defense. I completely agree with that as well. Don't start none, won't be none, right? Okay, and the last Michael Ford quote that I have, he says, we use our cunning wit of intelligence versus violence unless necessary. So I do like that stealthy aspect of it as well. The video that I got these quotes from Michael Ford out of, I will link in the description. I do like referencing Michael Ford's work. So I uphold these ideas though, and I uphold them to my core. I believe solely in the Luciferian ideology and the 11 points of power. A left-hand path practitioner crushes the infinite obstacles on their path. If something is in the way of us achieving our goals, you got to knock that obstacle out and get on top of where you want to be and have no shame or guilt in that. None at all. We must accept these aspects, these traits about ourselves, and we must not regret anything. Results are all that matters. No shame, no regret, and perception is reality. Conditioning from others or society has got to stop. At least forcing it on people. So the message here is to take this info and try to liberate or free yourself from this type of thinking if you do think like this. Follow your own path, follow your own heart, your own way. You are your own God. Much love.